Alright, okay.
Here we are installing the bushings for the coolant tank. I think what we're going to end up doing is doing a nylon collar on the bottom, similar to that.
Similar to that.
That one won't quite thread in.
That won't quite thread in. The big boy?
Yep.
Yeah. Nylon collar. This is an Allen head. It's same exact fretting as the other guys, but it gives you enough clearance to get behind that bracket. Otherwise, like we said, the original guy was just too small once you try to pack this thing out some. So on the bottom it's packed out, on the top it's going straight in. So here we are now with our bushings installed. You can see how much room we've got between the tank and the shock. Plenty of room. About ready to tighten up the shock then, huh? Yep. Alright, wheel spacers are on both sides. Shocks are in on the passenger side. Canister faces the back. Nothing to get in the way like on the other side. Sway bar right here, just zip tied up. This one's really stiff though, it doesn't have a lot of play in it, but that should keep it from ever popping down. Just want to check on that once in a while. Alright, time to put the wheels on and see what this thing looks like. Time to measure. We lowered the boom here. This was 9.5 this morning when I started. It's 12 7/8 to 13 now. There's plenty of clearance there. Let's just lean on it a little bit and see what the bounce feels like. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. Take a look at the width. We were at about 50.5 earlier today. And line that up over there. We are, let's see here. It looks like we're pushing 53. It's hard to see from the camera angle here, but maybe you can get a view of that right there. Here's 53 is, whoops, never mind. Alright, after bouncing up and down a little bit, sitting in it and popping back out, the clearance is now about a little over 11 inches. So, still plenty of improvement. You can see the stance is just a little bit broader now with the spacers on it. Trying to look right down the center, and you can see how the wheels are now sticking out a little bit. They're almost even with the Nerf bars. Peek around the side, you can see where the Nerf bars are. Alright. And that is the front end job. One more look in there at the final spacers. Pushing the water bottle out, they'll pay attention to the top one. That's just to snug it in. The bottom one's the one to look at.
Okay, here we are with the YZ shocks rear. We're going to set the high speed first, and we're going to set our adjustment at 1 turn from fully bottomed out. Right. That's with a 17mm wrench.
It's already been bottomed out, so there's my registration mark, and there's my registration mark on the nut. Very close. There it is, done.
Okay, here we go. We're going to set the center adjustment now. We're going to take it all the way in.
You can feel the clicks.
And we're going to take it out 6 clicks from bottom.
Alright, it's bottomed out. There's 1 click, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The clicks are on quarter revolutions.
Here we're going to adjust the last adjustment. We're going to take it all the way down. And we're going to back it out 4 clicks.
Yeah, where I'm stopping the screwdriver is when it clicks. You can feel it and hear it. It's bottomed out. 4 clicks?
4 clicks out.
Whoops. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Done. The shock is adjusted.
Gotta put your little approval mark on it. Do this one, tighten it in.
What was the factory adjustment?
12.
12.
1, 2, 3. We're going to use the trailer hitch as a registration mark, or maybe we'll use the bottom of this. That's the bottom of the frame. So, factory shocks on my 800 LE. I'm looking at a clearance of, I'm going to say 9 1/4. 9 5/16 if I'm feeling good about it. All right. Now let's do a little width measurement here. Go ahead and pull that over to there. This is a view from the back. So we're looking at right around, let's see here. Yeah, right around 50 inches of clearance there. I'm sorry, width. You can already look up front, you can see that front tire sticking out. That's the result of putting the spacers on up front. We'll get the spacers on back here too after we get these shocks installed. So we're getting ready to go in, take these bad boys off. We're going to have to do a little drilling right down in here using the template. So we've got some work to do. We got our drill bit ready. I think it's 13:30 seconds.
All right, here we go. Removing the shock. Taking a quick look. Looks like the bushings on a 2012 with about 100 miles on it. Already showing significant wear.
Bummer. Other end?
Other end's good.
Lower end? Not so bad.
More to follow. Here we are with the shock off. You can see the line for the brake caliper over here, and this is where
Runs underneath the bottom of the shock.
yeah, it runs underneath the bottom of the shock, and this is where the problems can come about. If your shock comes down into contact with that, it'll rub the hole in that. So what I'm going to do is loosen this banjo nut, and I'm going to move that line slightly.
Is it one side?
To one side, and right there you can see
It already got some flex.
it's already in the one
Snugged up to the side.
sucked up to the side. So all it is is
You tighten that back up.
tighten that back up. And we're good. Now, it's out of the way.
All right. We'll take another look at that after we get the shock installed. Drill. So what we did was we cut out the templates that you can get on the Razor forum. This is a 2012, so we used the 2011 template. You can see the little starter holes punched with an awl in there, right? You cut out the other registration holes and use that bolt to line things up nice and neat. And also use some of this spray adhesive. Just kind of spray that on one side of the paper and then put it on there and lined up these upper edges nice and true, so that when I'm drilling my pilot hole, I'll be able to go through and come back through that guy, and then I should be nice and straight. So I'll do a pilot hole first, and then I'll drill the major hole. I'm also going to back it up with just a small piece of wood to protect the boot. The boot's right there. The bit's easily long enough to get in. As promised, we came back after drilling. You can see where this is the bolt from one of the front shocks, but same size, you get an idea of it. Looks pretty good, pretty square. It's a little bit of, it's a little tight right in here, but by the time you get done drilling and controlling that bit, it's tough. There's a little bit of wander. I did use a pilot hole on it to keep it straight on this, and then also aimed it. In order to test fit the shock in, we're going to have to lower this sway bar linkage because there's not enough clearance to get the shock in to the new hole. So that's a matter of just starting. Okay, getting ready to do the install. These are the Dr. Honda bearings, as seen on TV. Sorry I can't get that to zoom in right, man. Give you some video on that. But that says shock spacer YZ to RZR, right? See there. Okay, we didn't actually end up using the spacer up top. It was just too snug to fit in there. You can see the fitting without it. Pretty tight on both sides. Come down low. These spacers actually work perfectly down here. It was a little tough to get the bolt in facing out, so we ended up putting it in that way. Snug the sway bar linkage back up. Something to watch out for, you may have heard about. I got a loose grommet right here. My muffler rattles when I start it up. I got to force that. Talked a little bit earlier about the grommet problem. The grommet comes loose, and then you get a lot of banging around from the muffler here. So coaxed the grommet back in place and then put a couple zip ties on it. Hopefully that'll keep it from popping back out. And even if it does pop out, it ain't going to go far. But the grommet itself is kind of chewed up, so keep an eye on that on yours. On the other side in the rear, got that shock out of place. Disconnected the sway bar mount, drilled the new holes, already have the cable line moved over. That was done a few minutes ago. So we are just about ready to get moving here. Be back in a sec. Also have the space.